Welcome to this episode of my VA Disability Claims. Right, today we're going to talk about the first element of service connection. Right, there are three elements to service connection. Three elements: in-service event, current medical diagnosis, nexus link between the two. Right, so today we're just going to talk about that first element of service connection, just kind of to show you these are the types of evidence that you'd have to satisfy this first element. All right, you want to make sure that you have your evidence in place to give yourself the best shot at getting that claim approved. All right, first element. When we talk about the first element, again, that's that in service event or in service diagnosis. So let's say I'm filing for one of the examples, right? I'm filing for carpal tunnel. Out of the service, been separated for a couple years, carpal tunnel, right? Wrist stuff, filing for it. While I was in the service, I was diagnosed with carpal tunnel, right? So I would just need to get that evidence showing that I had that diagnosis while I was in the service. And when you look at that record from service, you want to make sure that the diagnosis is in there, right? If they have the symptoms, that'll work as well, as long as you have that current medical diagnosis. But you do want to, again, look in your records to make sure that diagnosis is in there, right? So in-service diagnosis. If you're diagnosed with high blood pressure, hypertension, let's say you get diagnosed on active duty, you separate, you're still dealing with the high blood pressure, and you want to file a claim for it. The in-service event, right? That's why you get that claim approved ultimately, because that first element is satisfied with your in-service diagnosis. All right, so in-service diagnosis, that's like going to the doctor and getting diagnosed with something while you're in service, active duty. Right, in-service event, that's an event that took place, an incident that took place while you were in the service that led to the current medical condition that you have. Right, let's say you're at a bar, you get into a fight, right? Oh man, TBI, huh? Go to the police, get that incident report. If it happened on base, you can go get the incident report from military police, possibly. Let's say you slip and fall, hurt your ankle. Right, that's an in-service event. If you're having ankle conditions now because of that fall, right, you can file that claim, and that in-service event element will be satisfied with an incident report showing that that fall took place, or a lay statement from people who served with you at that location at that time, saying that yeah, this guy had a fall, right, or the doctor's visit showing that this is what happened, this is the incident that took place, right? Uh, Car accident, right? That's one for me. Had a car accident while I was on leave, right? Got some anxiety and things from that car accident, from that traumatic event. Filed a claim for it. Had to go to the police station to get the accident report. I obviously still have issues from it, right? But I had to call them, and I never had to like go there physically, right? Because it was in South Carolina, Sumter. I was stationed at Shaw Air Force Base. But I had to call them. I had to call a couple different places. You know, there's like a police evidence section or whatever, so I had to call them up. Ultimately, they faxed it to me, that police report from that day. The police keep documentation of things that take place, so called them up. They faxed me the record, submitted it with the claim, ultimately got the claim approved, and that incident report was the in-service event piece of that claim, right? That was the first element, being satisfied with that incident report showing that this kid had a car accident on this date, right? So for traumatic events, accidents, things like that, get those incident reports. If the police on the civilian side were involved, you can just request those reports, public information, and that would be that in-service event element of your service connection. And another one, often overlooked, nature of the job, right? Tinnitus or tinnitus, or I say tinnitus. Some people say tinnitus. Who knows what it really is? But this is one, working on the flight line, working around loud noises, right? Throwing grenades and all that. That shit is loud, right? That stuff is loud. So that could be a nature of the job type of claim, right? There's not necessarily, you weren't diagnosed with it while you were in the service, and it's not just one particular event, sequence of events based on the nature of your job, right? working on the flight line, working around loud noises. Jump school as well, right? Jumping out of planes, that constant landing motion, right? You're talking back, you're talking lower back, right? Knees, possibly ankles, nature of your job situation. It may not be a specific event, but a sequence of recurring events based on the nature of your job, right? Carrying around heavy packs and all that stuff, right? Cervical strains, huh? Like all these things that have an effect on your body from the nature of your job, right? Again, that's one that's often overlooked, but I want you to slow down and consider from my job, right? Or if you're helping someone else file their claim, from your job, what were you exposed to on a frequent basis, right? Loud noises, right? A lot of jumping, carrying heavy things. All that kind of plays into it when you're filing that claim. So again, that first element, 3 ways at least, different ways you can satisfy it. Number one, the in-service diagnosis. Got diagnosed with something in the service, get my service treatment records, find that diagnosis, boom, there we go. File that claim, get it approved, right? Second one, in-service event. Not a diagnosis, but an event, something that took place, right? Traumatic event, right? Accident, injury, a little fight, scuffling up, right? An event that an injury or a medical condition resulted from, right? Like this event happened as a result of it. I now have this medical condition, right? So in-service diagnosis, in-service event, and then the often overlooked nature of the job, right? The nature of your job sometimes can lead to medical conditions. Loud noises, a lot of jumping with heavy materials, right? Carrying heavy things. There's a bunch of others that I'm overlooking right now, right? Because this is a big space. But we just want you to keep that in mind. Nature of the job, right, can lead to some medical condition, right? And that's it, man. We're trying to keep this one under 4 or 5 minutes. Check out the rest of the channel. We want it to be like a repository, you know. And so if you have a certain condition that you're looking for, just search for it in the channel. More than likely, there's a video talking about it. Probably giving you a walkthrough showing you how to do it. All right. As always, learn the information, use the information. If you deem it to be valuable, share the information. Right. As a veteran, you have medical benefits, you have education benefits, and you have employment benefits as well. Take full advantage of all of the benefits from your military experience. All right. In this country, they do a solid job of kind of giving us different avenues. Take advantage of them, please, please, huh? That's it, man. Have an incredible day.